There's a quiet kind of suffering that looks like confidence. It smiles when people look, nods when people speak, agrees when it should walk away. You know it well. It's the smile you force when you're starving for approval. The words you swallow so they'll still like you. You don't call it fear, but it is. You just want to be seen, just want someone to say you matter. So you bend, you edit, you shape yourself like clay in hands that don't even know what they're molding. And when it hardens, you're stuck in a version of you that was never yours. That's not love. That's not peace. That's a prison. The Stoics warned us. Seneca wrote, "He who seeks approval from others has handed over the reins of his life." And yet here we are, scrolling, pleasing, shrinking, addicted to the hit of praise from strangers who will forget us by morning. Validation feels like safety, but it's just a leash dressed in comfort, a chain made of compliments. And the first step to peace is breaking it. You think if you do everything right, they'll finally accept you, but they won't, because the finish line keeps moving. Today it's how you talk, tomorrow it's how you dress, then how you think. And by the time you catch up, you're not even you anymore. You're a mirror, reflecting what they want to see, hoping they'll see value in their own reflection and offer it back to you. But here's the truth. People don't love mirrors. They use them, and when they're done, they move on. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, but he still had to remind himself, your worth is not determined by their applause. He knew. The loudest approval often comes from the most fragile sources, fleeting trends, shallow minds, temporary people. And when your peace depends on what can disappear overnight, it's not peace, it's performance. The Stoic path isn't about impressing the world. It's about standing still while the world spins around you, chaotic, loud, demanding your shape. But you don't move. You stay. You remain. Not because they see you, but because you finally do. You are not born to be agreeable. You are not built to be pleasing. And yet somewhere along the way you made a quiet trade. You gave away your edges to be held by hands that only wanted something soft. You taught yourself to pause before speaking, not out of wisdom, but out of fear. Fear they disagree, or worse, walk away. But the people who stay only if you're quiet, small, easy, they don't stay for you. They stay for the role you play. And the longer you play it, the harder it gets to remember who you were before the performance began. Epictetus said, "If you want to be free, learn to disregard the opinions of others." Simple, brutal, true. Because freedom is not loud. It's not applause or acceptance. It's the silence in your chest when you finally stop trying to be enough for them. It's the weight that leaves when you stop performing. You want peace? Then let them misunderstand you. Let them call you cold when you're calm. Let them leave when you don't chase. Peace doesn't come when they approve. It comes when you stop needing them to. Most people don't want peace. Not really. They want the illusion of it. They want noise that flatters them, attention that feels like meaning, likes that feel like love. But real peace is quiet. It doesn't need witnesses. It doesn't perform. That's why it's rare. Because it demands that you let go of being liked. It demands that you watch people walk away and not follow. It demands you stay silent when every part of you is begging to explain. And still, you stay. Zeno said, "Silence is a lesson in itself." The more you speak, the more you hand your story over to people who don't deserve it. Try silence, not as absence, but as power. Let them guess. Let them invent stories about you. You don't owe them a correction. Your calm will confuse them. Your stillness will scare them. That's how you know it's working. You want to live free? Start by not answering every doubt with a defense. You're not here to be understood. You're here to be whole. The ones who get it won't need an explanation. And the ones who don't were never your audience. There's a kind of strength that doesn't need to speak its name. It doesn't ask for credit. It doesn't wait for someone to notice. It's built in the hours when no one's watching, in the quiet mornings before the world wakes, in the nights when your phone is off and the room is still and you're left alone with your thoughts. That's where peace is born, not in applause, but in solitude, not in validation, but in mastery over your own mind. Marcus Aurelius filled pages reminding himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. And that strength, it looks like stillness. It sounds like silence. It feels like not needing to prove anything to anyone, not even yourself. Imagine that, a life where you don't look for mirrors, where you don't rehearse your words to sound right in someone else's ears, where you move, speak, choose, not to be liked, but because it's true. That's the Stoic path, and it's waiting for you, not with open arms, but with open silence. You've spent too long handing out pieces of yourself like currency, hoping someone would finally hold them long enough to call it love. But love isn't built on sacrifice. Not this kind. The version where you vanish so they'll stay, where you shrink so they'll smile. That's not connection. That's quiet destruction. So stop. Let the need die. Let the craving dissolve. What's left when the noise fades, that's you. That's always been you. The part that doesn't beg. The part that doesn't bend. The part that watches storms pass without blinking. The Stoics didn't preach isolation. They practiced sovereignty. Peace was never about escaping the world. It was about not being owned by it. You want to be free? Then stop waiting to be seen. Let them overlook you. Let them doubt you. Let them talk. While they speak, build. While they gossip, grow. While they chase each other's approval, vanish into your own silence. And when they finally ask how you did it, don't answer. Just live so loudly in your stillness that the question dies on their lips. The world remembers noise for a moment, but it remembers calm for generations. Be that calm. Be that silence. Be that unmoved stone they can't shake no matter how loud they scream. In the end, peace doesn't come when they say you're enough. It comes when you stop asking,